So you guys obviously played football together
Yes.
at Tumby Bay.
Yes.
Had you known each other before that?
Yes.
Oh, really? Whereabouts?
Maitland.
Really?
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
Elders, Southern Farmers.
Right, stock agents.
Yeah. Yeah.
How many games?
Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, probably only about 60.
Mm-hmm. Over how many years?
6 seasons. But I had a bad knee injury, and I think that was against Lincoln South.
How'd you do the knee? Playing against Lincoln South?
I actually had the ball and I was in the process of kicking it, and one guy hit me on that side and the other one hit me on the foot, and the knee just went broke.
Wow.
So that kept me out for quite a while.
Broke your knee, did it? Broke it?
No.
No.
It would have, I had the same thing happen and it
Just ruined all the cartilages
and tendons.
Tendons and things like that.
Of course, you won a male medal in the Port Lincoln Football League.
Very lucky. That was the first year we went to Lincoln, and my first year here. But I had a Roger Dunn, who used to knock on my door.
Another great man.
5 o'clock in the morning, run up the beach, run down the beach, up the jetty, swim, in, go home for breakfast. Used to do that every morning, and I was very, very fit in that year. And
it was nice to have a good beach to run up and down, probably.
yeah, it was a lovely beach. But I was devastated the following year when Roger went back to town. Went back. Good luck to Roger. He played 160 odd games for Sturt. Represented the state.
Played a lot of good footy.
Indeed, he did.
Indeed, a lot of good cricket too, I believe.
No, Roger wasn't a cricketer.
Oh, he wasn't a cricketer?
No, Dean was the cricketer.
Oh,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah. Roger. Well, Roger played footy in the winter. Dean played cricket in the summer. You know, and because of their hotel commitments, and they worked it out and worked very well, and they worked well together.
You played which years for Tumby Bay in football?
62 through to 67, end of 67.
So you left the year before the premiership?
I did. Yes.
Rotten timing.
Rotten timing. Yes, I missed out on that. We played in a few preliminary finals.
And you certainly played with those guys who played in that premiership.
Yes.
Tell me about them.
Oh yes. Well, Roger was back then. But guys like John Lodge, John Williams, Max Lowe. And I think Max Lowe's here today. Doug Murphy. I'm not sure whether Murph would have played here. Murph was a bit older than the rest of us, but he was a good player, good club man. Kenny Berryman, Cliffy Carpenter, all good players.
So they certainly were strong when they came in.
Yes, yes. Well, as a matter of fact, they wrote up in the Port Lincoln Times. I got an idea. Our first match was against Lincoln South. Our first match in Port Lincoln, and the Port Lincoln Times. A guy named Max Harvey used to write the sporting column, and he said we don't give Tumby Bay much chance in this game against a very experienced Lincoln South. Phil Cole, their leading ruckman. Anyway, I think we had 10 goals on the board in the first quarter to their 3 points.
And obviously went on to win.
We won by 10 goals. Yeah, in that first game.
Yeah. Were they the reigning premiers at the time?
No, I've got an idea. Tasman's were. I think Tasman's under a guy named Barry Vauxx. Was captain coach of Tasman's. He was in a fuel. He was in the fuel, either Shell or one of those companies in Port Lincoln at the time. Ian Fullwood captain Waybacks. Graham Charlton captain Marble Range.
Would play a bit.
Yeah, good player. can't think. See, there were only 5 teams. Then Boston's weren't in it.
Well, there was no Mallee Park. Was there only 4 teams? Or?
No, there was Lincoln South, Tasmans, Waybacks, Marble Range and Tumby Bay.
Oh, of course, Tumby, yeah. What about Air United?
No, they didn't come into it till later.
Didn't come in until maybe the following years?
Yeah, 2 years later, I think. Yes, because they still ran the Eastern Air Association with Port Neal, Angara, Butler Tanks, Lipson.
Hmm.
Yeah, because Lyle Swapper, who was a very good player for Tumby Bay, didn't come into it until later, as did Max Lowe. Yeah, a couple of seasons later.
Hmm. And obviously you enjoyed your time.
Oh, had marvellous time.
Let's have a look.
That was 62.
Right, there we go. So if I can move that over there, that's it. So tell me about this team.
Oh, it was a pretty good side. We played. We were an unknown quantity to go to Lincoln. It was our first season in the Lincoln League, and if I remember right, in the Times it said that we can't possibly tip Tumby Bay to win because they're an unknown quantity, and we had 10 goals won on the board in the first quarter to a point.
Wow, who'd you play?
South.
In that first game?
South, in that first game, yeah. Yeah.
Which was a good start. You won the game?
Yes, by 11 goals.
It was a good night?
It wasn't, if I remember rightly, it was all right, yeah.
So who's in this team?
Well, Roger Dunn was captain coach. Strangely enough, we had, his name was Doug Holloway, and he was the Church of Christ minister. And this bloke was David Houston, he was the Methodist minister. And lovely, both great guys and good players too. Yeah. That's Roger's elder brother Dean. Yeah. Doug Murphy. Kevin Moore, who went and played with Lincoln Souths. He was in the bank at Tumby Bay, and he played centre half back for us, and he got transferred to Port Lincoln, and then we had to play against him. And yeah, Kevin Moore, and David Wibberley, of course, the doctor. He was the president of the club. But, yeah, it wasn't a bad side. It wasn't a bad side at all.
He played for Sturt at league level.
He did.
And he also won a male medal, and he played against Lincoln South, who you're doing a feature on, in 1962, the first year Tumby was in Port Lincoln.
That's right. I got a transfer to, I applied to go to the West Coast because I'm originally a West Coast boy. I was born in Ceduna, and but my dad was away at the war and Mum sold the farm when I was only 3 years old, so I remember nothing about the farm life at all. But every year I was in the stock firm, I applied to go to the West Coast, and this opportunity came up to go to Tumby Bay, and of course the only person I knew in Tumby Bay was Roger Dunn, because he had played for Sturt previously. And
you played for Sturt how many games?
5, only 5.
5 league games?
Yeah.
You were there for a couple of seasons?
Oh yeah, 57, 58. Played a lot of seconds games, that sort of thing. But I started in junior Colts in 52. I was only 14, playing in under 16s, and managed to get into the senior Colts side 55 and 56, and 57 I managed to play a couple of league games, and funnily enough, out of the 5 games I played 3 against Glenelg.
Wow.
Yeah, one against North Adelaide and one against West Torrens. Yeah.
Well, I hope you beat the Bays.
Yeah, we did.
Good job.
I hope you didn't beat us.
No, North Adelaide beat us.
Did they?
Yeah, I stood a guy named Bill Blunden.
Yeah.
Yeah, Billy Blunden.
I knew Bill.
But I got a lesson in when we played Torrens. They ran what they called a 3 rover plan.
Right.
One on the ball, one in the pocket, and one on the half forward flank. And it was Ray Hank, Errol Lodge, and Lindsay Head. That was an experience.
You were playing whereabouts?
Halfback flank.
Right.
Yeah.
In that first team there, can you point out where you guys are?
Ian's not in this one,
I'm not there.
but that's me there.
There you go.
There's Roger Dunn, Kevin Moore, Doug Murphy, Dougie Berryman, Vern Challenger, Barry Henriksen, Dennis Challenger, Peter Carr, Neil Copman. Didn't he work at Elders? Neil Copman.
I didn't know him. No.
David Houston, Don McGee was district clerk, Jimmy Buckingham, Jeffrey O'Connell, can't think of his name, yes I can, Higgins, Roma Higgins' husband. Bluey, he was Bluey Higgins, yeah.
Did he play footy?
No, he was a trainer.
Oh, I was going to say.
Doug Berryman, Vern Challenger, Eddie Ward played in Elders, worked for Elders. Myself, Georgie Loudon, Dean Dunn, Jeffrey Blight, he worked in the bank. Doug Murphy was a school teacher. Kevin Moore was in the bank. Dr. David Wibbley, Roger Dunn, Kenny Berryman, and Doug Holloway.
Good job.
Johnny Henriksen, Barry Henriksen, it's his father, Johnny. He was the local barber, wasn't he, at the time?
Do we have a picture here with Ian in it as well?
Yeah. Well, that picture is the combined. They made the Port Lincoln League put in 2 teams in the Mortlock Shield.
They still do.
And this was Lincoln Districts, which was made up of Tumby Bay, Marble Range, and Air United.
Yep.
And Ross Davey was captain. He was captain of Air United. Trevor Adams from Marble Range, Graham Baum, Bevan Butler, Johnny Baldacera, Billy Giles, Wayne Hull. They affectionately called him Bandy. I don't know. He didn't appear bandy to me.
Well, Hulls can play a bit.
Elwood, and that's Ian David there. Ian worked in Elders at the time. The coach was...
So that's you?
Yep.
Yep.
The coach was Neville Brown, and he was the manager of Bennett and Fisher, in another stock agent in there.
When was Fred born?
That was 66, I reckon. It's on the back. It's written on the back.
Oh, so 1966, Ian, you were certainly...
Yeah, we're 65.
Oh, he was a very good player.
I wasn't a male medalist, though.
Sorry?
I wasn't a male medalist.
What do you got there, Doug?
Oh, I was just reading the Port Lincoln Time, the football budget,
Oh, yes.
when we made our first.
Wow. Tumby Bay to make Port Lincoln debut.
Yeah. The comment down here. The captain coach is former Sturt Rover Roger Dunn, so it is not expected that their fitness will be found wanting. It is not expected that either side will be at peak strength. Oh, I don't remember that.
It looks like Colts had only just started.
Yeah, way back to win the first Colts match. Yeah. It's,
It's surprising they didn't have Colts before 1962. But of course there were only 3 clubs, I think, before Tumby came in.
4,
Oh, there were 4.
Marble Range.
Oh, of course, Marble Range had come in 1953.
Oh, they came in well earlier.
In the period up to the Port Lincoln Football Association going into recess because of World War II, the club enjoyed 4 seasons, winning A-grade premierships in the last 2. As well, they may have created a precedent of sorts by winning a semi-final with only 17 available players from beginning to end. After the war, application to rejoin with Port Lincoln was rejected, and it wasn't until 1953 that Marble Range was at last welcomed back into what by now had become the Port Lincoln Football League.
What else we got there, Dave?
Well, I was just saying here that Tumby Bay will find waybacks tougher. We did. We found them quite a bit tougher. We only won the game 10-15 to 5-9.
Wow, so you came in all guns blazing.
Yep. We kicked 5 goals in the last quarter.
How'd you go yourself? Get a kick?
Yeah, got a kick. Got a kick, I think, yeah.
Where were you playing for Tumby at that time?
Centre half forward in those days.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So if you're winning like that and everyone's kicking it to you, you did get a kick.
Yes.
How long since you've had these out of the cupboard? 40 years?
Oh, not quite 40, probably. Yeah, probably 40. That's the Tumby Bay team of the century. Yeah, I managed to sneak in on a half-forward flank. Kenny Berryman's gone, Bill Brown's gone, Fred Shadlick's gone. Yeah. Roger was captain, but he wasn't coach. A bloke named Jack Connell. Apparently he was the policeman there before Fred Lodge, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was.
Yeah. Georgie Burgoyne was the and of course he's the grandfather of the Burgoynes that are playing, or might even be great-grandfather.
Probably great-grandfather, I'd say. Who could play. Great Tasman's man, of course.
Oh,
Georgie
yeah,
played, couldn't he?
he could play, yeah.
Tell me about him. He kicked a couple of goals. Whereabouts what position did you play in?
I played half forward.
So you didn't have to worry about George so much?
No,
You guys are playing forward.
no, I played on the wing a bit.
Yeah, wing and half forward mainly, yeah.
Yep.
By June 23rd in 62, George Burgoyne had kicked 37 goals. Yeah, I only had 22 at
Wow.
that stage.
Good job.
And Roger done 17. So.
And you finished on?
I think I finished up with nearly 50 for the year.
Good job.
But it'll be in here somewhere.
And you were kicking the drop kick?
Yeah, I still kicked drop kicks in those days. Yeah, in 62 I did. Roger told me it was old-fashioned. Yeah.
What year's that one? 62 again?
Yeah.
So you got all the budgets from 62 from the first year?
No, not all of them. This is August 18, so it's getting up semi-final time.
I never kept anything, did I?
August 11, September 1. Lincoln South and Tumby Bay meet at the Centenary Oval today in a cutthroat first semi-final. Doesn't give the final score.
What year was that, Doug?
62.
He's got all of them, I think.
I had 38 goals then, and Burgoyne had 74.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's the week after that that I was looking for. Well, that would be 8th, July 18th, 11th. Nah, can't tell you.
1963, what's that one?
Oh, this would be the Air Peninsula side.
Right. Whereabouts did you play?
Half-back flank, yeah, we played. As a matter of fact, I stood a bloke named Doug Young,
Really?
who used to play for Norwood.
Wilk or what?
Wilkawat, correct, a farmer.
Tennis players.
Yeah.
Yes, right, very good tennis player.
Yeah.
Yeah. He wore number 8 and I wore number 16. And
Really?
No relation?
no. And South Australia played Victoria, and that was the day that the Victorian guy named Peck from Hawthorn decked Brian Sawley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you were the curtain raiser?
Yeah, and it was wet. It was, oh,
Still Adelaide Oval, which of course you'd played on previously.
Yeah, I had. Yeah.
But nice, except for the rain.
Yeah.
What jumper were you wearing then? Because
Norwood.
you were wearing Norwood
We
jumpers.
wore
then?
Norwood
Because
jumpers.
actually the first jumper that Eyre Peninsula played in was Mount Hope.
Oh, really?
Because Mount Hope was the only club on Eyre Peninsula that had a full set of jumpers.
Really?
True story. Ah, and this is that same trip.
This was a 63.
Yep. And Joan Lindpere was there taking pictures of you.
Joan Lindpere, yes, I remember him.
He was a classic. He fought in 5 different armies in World War II.
Wow. Yeah, that's. I only just made it. I made that corner there.
In your Norwood jumpers.
In Norwood jumpers, yeah.
Oh, this is the Eyre Peninsula.
Eyre Peninsula side in 63, yeah. As Morris Miller came from Far West.
Right.
He
Could play.
Oh, he played centre half back and I played on the flank. And he won in those days they used to have a Caltex Gold Watch Award for BOG, and he won it. And I think the story goes that 2.5 hours after he'd won it, he'd sold it.
Really?
Yeah. He said, I don't need 2 watches.
True.
But he was a good player, good player. I believe he did, he went to school at Scotch College at Lower Mitcham there. Yeah.
Great photo. Here we go. Here's a score sheet. Oh, this is the Mortlock Shield. D Young 4 goals. George Burgoyne 8, and you lined up whereabouts in that?
I played on the ball that day. I was ruck roving.
Really? Yeah. So 4 goals ruck roving against Eastern.
Eastern Air, yes, yeah.
Is that would have been the
63.
That would have been the Eastern Air League, the old Eastern Air League,
yes.
which was
Port Neal, Ungara, Lipson, Butler Tanks. Who else was out that way? Lipson, Ungara, Butler.
Warminda.
No, Warminda played in the Cleveland.
They played.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. That's a great photo, isn't it?
Yeah, that's David Houston. Yeah, that's George Burgoyne.
Yep.
And that's me there.
Yep. Ah, there you go.
Where's David?
That's missing the mark.
Oh, right.
And Georgie Burgoyne apparently marked it. He,
Well, that's what they put on the caption.
yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these footballs are actually cut out and just stuck on.
Yeah.
Oh,
Volley had a thing that he always had to have a football in the photo.
right.
He's a great photographer, but he had a few little quirks. And one of those is that I'd be a little bit suspicious about that one because it's got a little flat bit just there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And if you look at where the players are looking,
Yeah,
probably
it doesn't look like either of them should have marked
they're
it.
actually looking up here.
Yeah.
So that football there, what he used to do is he had a pair of the old-fashioned school scissors there in the dark room, and he would cut out, and he got worse and worse at it as he got on in years. And so if you have a look at the ones in the 90s, there's all these flat sides to the footballs.
You'll often Wally's pictures of a sporting action. He'd love to get the footballers running towards you, and then, of course the ball's in front. So when you do the picture, the ball's a long way from the figures you want to blow up. So Wally used to cut the ball out and move it back in front of them and stick it on, and it was a more dramatic sports picture. Well, he did that one day, and what he didn't notice was there was already, he had a couple of spare balls that would look the right size for whatever picture he was fiddling with. And what he didn't notice was there was an existing genuine football in that picture. So he stuck his on and we printed it, and there's this thing with 2 footballs.
Did anyone?
Oh, everyone noticed it.
Everyone did. The best one I ever saw him do was there was a pack going up all this way, but the photo cropped it off right there, so he put the football behind them.
Oh.
So they're all going up this way. It's about 6 feet behind them. Sorry, what do we got there?
Oh, playing way backs there, that's me vying for a mark. That's a guy named John Lodge. He's unfortunately tried to drive his motor car up the pipeline from Lincoln to Tumby Bay and didn't make it.
Really? Oh.
But he was a good player, Ian, wasn't he?
Johnny?
Johnny Lodge.
Yeah, terrific.
What, he did that just as a lark and it went wrong?
Oh no, he'd been drinking.
Ah, okay, right.
His father had the pub in Tumby Bay, the Sea Breeze, Fred Lodge, yeah. Dean took it over, Dean Lodge, the elder brother, and Dean finished up working at the Tasman, managing the bottle department.
Right.
Yeah, driving.
Other side.
That's a good photo. And in fact, I think we have a telegram there.
Oh,
Congratulations from all members on your medal win. And it's addressed to Doug Young, Farmers Union, Tumby Bay.
yeah,
Because you had just won the medal
yeah, that's
Good on you.
right.
Yeah.
in
62,
1962.
yeah.
There you go. So you had a great year. Of course, Tumby Bay originally played in red and white.
That's right, North Adelaide, yeah, they did.
Yep. And had to change, I think the story was when the Eastern Air... Oh, well maybe they had to change when they went into Port Lincoln because Tasmans were already red and white, is that right?
Yeah, Tasman's are red and white, me and herself. And
Wow. Your wife's pretty hot.
she was in those days.
Oh, sorry.
When you're 21, everybody's hot.
There you go.
Still is.
I know, I was 22 by then.
Oh, okay, yeah. And look at those boots. Look at those boots. That's back in the day when
That's right, yeah.
the old ankle high.
Plastic
Mind
sprig.
you, you've got modern sprigs.
Plastic though.
They're not the nailed on.
Yeah.
They're the latest thing.
Yeah, they were nailed
Oh,
around
they
the outs.
are nailed on, sorry.
Yeah.
The plastic sprigs.
The plastic ones.
And did the nails used to bother you?
Yes, they used to come through.
Wow.
Take them home and beat them up again.
So, how was it with the old boots? They were made for kicking drop kicks, I think. Is that right? Reinforced toe.
They had they're steel caps. Yeah,
Steel caps, did they?
yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah. So you could really lay into
I
a drop
think
kick.
they were a boot. They were called Denzel Dons.
Oh.
Denzel Dons. I think they were made by Rossiter's out of Dunley. Yeah,
Really? So locally made football boots.
yeah. Wow. South Australian made. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And then they brought in, well, you can see there how I used to lace them up
Yep.
around the ankle and around the foot.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they
Believe it or not, I was a redhead.
Is that right? I believe it.
Yeah.
Yep. So, what was he like as a footballer, Ian?
Excellent.
Tell me about his style. What was his strengths? No, let him go, Doug.
I would say his strength was his ability, but copybook. Excellent mark
Good skills.
and a very, very neat kick. Yeah.
Drop kick or
Uh,
drop punt?
mostly drop kicks.
Yep.
Yeah, and good stab pass.
Yeah.
I don't remember you kicking screwies.
No,
No,
never liked them.
no, always a drop punt, drop kick.
Drop kick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But very neat footballer. Mm. And
As you'd expect from a league player. Yep.
absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I've never regarded myself as a league player.
Or any particular games that you recall there? You guys had, well, the two of you, are there any good wins, any particular notable wins in that time when you were both there?
Oh, quite a few.
Yeah, we had some very, very good wins,
Yeah,
especially when Roger came back.
yeah, 67 he came back.
He Neville Brown was coach my first year there, but he wasn't as forceful or as dynamic as Roger was.
Well, Roger led by example.
I mean, Roger just, if there was a crowd of bullocks there, he would have ploughed through them to get the ball. And that was his style of footy, yeah. I can remember him coming out of packs or something, nose bleeding and
Yeah.
face all cut and that sort of thing, but he never stopped.
Yep.
No, he's a very, very good player.
And he coached by example, I dare say.
That's right.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. As a lot of those guys do. Yep. Okay, we've done well. What else have we got there?
Yeah, that one.
Oh, there we go. Wonderful, thank you. Oh,
That was the 1956 senior Colts side. That's me there. Yeah.
Great job.
The players of note in that one was Neil Hawke, Barry Barbary, Ray Trenorden, Bob Kite from Norwood, Lynn Hine, he was captain West. Skeeter Barnes from Glenelg.
Yep.
Jeff Bray from West Adelaide. They all played league football.
First three
football.
Yeah.
you mentioned were North Adelaide.
Yeah, Barry Barbary, Ray Trenorden,
Yep.
Atkinson. Don
Don Atkinson.
Atkinson.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you won easily. You kick any goals that day?
Graham McCarthy. No, I played full back.
Did you?
Yeah, played full back.
Well, you didn't give away many. They only kicked 4.
That's right. I was
Yeah.
sort of bloke named Dave Sanko. He came from outside of Renmark, there, little town. But and funnily enough, in those days, we didn't get put up in hotels or anything like that. We were billeted out, and I was billeted out with the Sanko family.
Is that right? And then playing against
I had to front up to dinner on Saturday night.
Was this a state? Was this a state side?
Yeah,
a touch-up, yeah.
yeah.
Have you still got your jumper?
No, I tried to steal it. We had to give back our jumper and our socks. I tried to pinch my socks, but I got caught. Rexy White was the manager from West Torrens, and I tried to. Hey, you give me those socks back.
That's pretty harsh, isn't it?
Oh yeah, that one. That was also 1956 Army.
Yeah, when you're doing national service.
Barry Jarman. Stan Costello from West Adelaide, Peter Minaveni from Norwood.
Ah, yep.
Yeah. Jimmy Marshall from Mitcham. Yeah.
Who did you play against?
We played B Company. And
How'd you go against B Company?
We beat them.
Good job.
Yeah. Yeah, we were A Company. Yeah. The Derek Shield.
What colours are you wearing there?
Black and red sashes, West Adelaide.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was your shoulder patch?
Yeah, 16 National Service, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
How long did you spend in the army?
3 months.
3 months, that's a good job.
Yeah. It was a picnic.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, well, I was lucky I'd done school cadets.
Ah,
you know,
right.
and so I knew all the rifle drills and everything like that.
Will that carry on? Yep.
He had all the fun. I missed out on national service because the first year they brought in the birthday ballot.
Yeah.
And if you were born between such and such a date, you missed out.
Is
Yeah.
that right?
Yeah. And I was dying to go because Dad was in the army and
It would have been good fun, yeah. With no Vietnam to spoil things.
Oh, well, you see, I was very lucky. I was too young for Korea and too old for Vietnam.
Yeah, good.
yeah.
Yeah. Mind you,
Like I said, he had all the fun.
after we'd finished that, their mum said to me, "Have you ever thought about joining the army?" You know, and my father came in and said, "Definitely not," you know, because Dad was in the army. I wanted to go in the Air Force. I wanted to do national service in the Air Force. My 2 elder brothers, they were both army, and they said, "No, don't waste your time. Go in the army. Go in the army." So I went in the army.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Hayden Bunton's in that team too.
Right, well, I think we've done well. Ian, thank you very much again.
Pleasure.
Doug, thank you very much again.
Yeah.
Yeah.